Right, let's now get you some breaking news that's in fact just come in, where there are reports which are very concerning. Shockwaves thunder across Europe as Vladimir Putin has said that he would want to unleash Russia's latest unstoppable missile, a weapon so fast and powerful that it threatens to redraw the very map of security on NATO's eastern flank. The new Oreshnik hypersonic system tested in Ukraine will be deployed in Belarus. In essence, it now sits on NATO's doorstep, ready to rewrite the rules of war. What these images, when Russia had used the Oreshnik for the very first time on Ukraine, these are images from last November when the Russian forces had fired the experimental weapon at a factory in Dnipro that built missiles when Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union. Sitting alongside
Shalom. Shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah Kardash. I want to give a double honor to the elders and apostles of GMS, Great Millstone, who do rule well, and the citation of hope for elect. It's the brother Damawa from the GMS Cleveland branch, coming back with a quick video. I pray the lesson to be edifying. All right, and as you saw, all right, Russia has a new missile, okay, and in the cover it says it can get over there to France. I think it said 30 minutes. Let me see. Oh, it's not even on there. Let's do this. Yeah. Yep. It says Putin unstoppable missile. Missile that can hit London in minutes. All right. Right here. Where I'm gonna put it as the cover anyway. But as you can see, all right, it said in minutes. Okay. And this is the judgment. All right. This is the second death. All right. As it is written in the scriptures. All right, this is the second death. We know that the first death came by the way of the flood, right? That's how we got different continents. That's how you get the shape of the continents now. All right, because before then, before the flood, the earth was a Pangea. All right, it was one landmass. Okay, but we're living in the times, all right, when the Lord is about to bring judgment on the whole earth, all right, and this is the way, or this is what he's going to use to execute that judgment, okay, by the way of those ICBM missiles, all right, and he has given Russia and Iran and China, right, the upper hand on the so-called Western Edomites, which is so-called white man, right? He have gave them the Eastern Hemisphere. He gave them the upper hand on the technology development of these missiles, okay, for a reason, all right? And that reason is to bring judgment upon the heathen, all right? Now, let's get that real quick. I wasn't even planning on getting that, but let's get that. This Isaiah 54:16, it says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy." All right, and that waster, okay, is these ICBM missiles. All right, by the way of the so-called vessel fitted for destruction. All right, which is you so-called white people, man, you Edomites. All right, so the Lord have gave you guys this technology, all right, to ultimately destroy yourselves. All right. And we know mainly because it says in Isaiah 30, all right, for the controversy of Zion, all right, at the end of the day, okay, because you have these people over here, you got one group of them pretending to be us, right, and then through that group, they run every outlet, all right, mainly on the Western Hemisphere, all right, but they always had their hands in these puppet leaders on the Eastern side too, okay, and they have ran the world, all right, into total chaos, all right, and basically miserable, all right. Let's get this in Psalms 9. We're going to start at verse 5. It says, Thou hast rebuked the heathen, thou hast destroyed the wicked, thou hast put out their name forever and ever, okay, and He's going to use, all right, these missiles, man. And as you saw in that video, they was really falling fast as hell, like as stars, like seeing it looked like what a meteor would look like if it was hitting the earth, okay. And this is the way that the Lord has choose for you so-called white people, man, to go out, all right. Another scripture come to mind, all right, is it's saying, since thou love blood, blood shall pursue thee, okay. And let's not forget how this man has established every kingdom, all right, that he has put forth. Okay, it's been by it has been by rape, robbing, and pillaging. Okay, but on top of that, mainly, especially over here in America, all right, we know that he was bloodthirsty. All right, them damn Spaniards. Okay, they was bloodthirsty, man. All right, and they killed a lot of our Northern Kingdom brothers. All right, a lot of Reubenites. Right, a lot of North American brothers. Right, but it says Psalms 9:6. It says, "Oh, thy enemy destructions are come to a perpetual end." You see, because this white man, ever since he's been in power, he has found reason after reason, time after time, to call somebody a terrorist or to start a war over calling somebody a terrorist. All right, and this man is the main one that goes throughout the earth, right, establishing his footprint. Okay, and the only thing that they're trying to do now is just establish a digital footprint. Okay, but this is the last, as you can say, like this is the last act of the show. All right, it's him trying to ultimately gain this control. All right, but the Lord is gonna not that not let this man fulfill his enterprise, Salakia. All right, pertaining to Job. Okay, he's not gonna get the chance to ultimately, all right, take over the creation over the earth and have all the power in the earth forever. All right, because we know that that's what he's ultimately trying to do, is get his birthright back. All right, verse 7, it says, "But the Lord shall endure forever." All right, Slock, let me go back to 6, Psalms 9:6. It says, "Oh, thy enemy destructions are come to a perpetual end, and thou hast destroyed cities. Their memorial is perished with them." Right, man. Okay, and what's going to bring this? Okay, because the Lord is not about to go around from city to city, drive from city to city, tearing down statues and, no. He's going to he's going to ultimately put it on the spirit of these, of Russia, right, and Iran them, all right, to ultimately fire the missiles over here on America. Okay, so I'm just going to drive them to that point, and we know it. But by the way, pertaining to Jeremiah, right, that the least of the flock should draw them out. Okay, so ultimately Israel is going to do something, all right, that's going to ultimately piss these people off, and it's going to cause them to shoot them missiles, all right, and it's going to destroy America, aka Babylon, or the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great, right, because this place is a melting pot of confusion, all right. But it says, "But the Lord shall endure forever. He have prepared his throne for judgment." Right, man, because again, That's what his son, our Savior, right, Yahushua, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, right? That's what he's coming back to do, all right, to establish the kingdom, okay, on earth as it is in heaven, all right, pertaining to the Lord daily prayer, okay? But it says, verse 8, and he should judge the world in righteousness, okay? And we're not seeing that right now, them people over there, okay, in our land, all right, pretending to be, right? I don't want to say the word, but Jayish, okay, say it like that, Jayish, all right. But basically, what you're seeing is everybody hating them, everybody calling them out, right, for their treacherous, grievous acts, okay. And it says, and he should judge the world in righteousness. He should minister judgment to the people in uprightness. The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed and the refuge in time of trouble. Okay, because the times that we're coming into is very evil, man. All right, it's about to be very hard times. Okay, it's about to get crazy out here. Okay, and as this war sparks up, okay, it's not just going to be all right, just that aspect. No, it's going to be civil war over here in America. Okay, it's going to be the government coming down on the people, no food. Okay, it's going to be a lot of different scenarios going bad all at one time. Okay, and this is the judgment on the earth. Okay, that's what these people do not realize as they going on their daily lives, thinking that America is going to flip a switch, worrying about a house or worrying about trying to establish themselves further. They're not knowing that the day of the Lord is creeping up on them like a thief in the night. Okay? Let's get another scripture. All right? Because this is what we're doing when we're making these videos, all right, for the hopeful elect to one day run across it, all right, and wake up out this deep sleep. Okay? Because the world will have you partying, all right, until your demise. Okay? But you don't want to be a part of that group. You don't, you don't want to follow a multitude to do evil. All right. You want to try to get out this place. All right. Joel 3, straight to the point. Verse 9, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up thy mighty man, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Okay, because we know eventually, all right, before those missiles get shot off, this thing is going to become a hot war, all right, and it's going to be ground troops over there, okay, and a lot of these different countries are going to send a lot of their military, okay, over there in the Savant area, all right, to go fight, okay, and they ain't never coming back. Verse 10, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Okay, and these is all tools, right, for environmental, for gardening, right? So the Lord is basically telling them, take all your money and all your resources that you would usually spend on art, how you say that word, agriculture and different other money or resources that you would use for other things, and put it into what, making more missiles, making more guns, getting ready for this war. Okay, so that's the spirit that these other nations are in. All right, and we can tell that by Russia proclaiming these things, reminding America, all right, that we got missiles, okay, they can touch you people in minutes, all right, but it's not going to stop Trump. It's not going to stop or slow down anything that's on the agenda, that's on the Lord's agenda, right? Nothing is going to slow down prophecy, okay? Matter of fact, let's get there real quick just to show you Okay, that everything is going according to plan. All right, this is Proverbs. I won't plan on getting this, but it's all the spirit. Proverbs 21:1. It says, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and as rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will." And that word heart goes into lob, right? Which goes into your mind. Okay, so the king's mind is in the hand of the Lord. And as rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. All right, so these leaders, your so-called boy Trump, right, and all these elites, all right, that play the background but make the most important decisions, right? They're not about to turn this thing around, okay? They can't put the brakes on this. I was watching the story earlier, and he was basically saying how Trump was saying all these different things to get elected, but when he got elected, he got in the power seat. Oh yeah, I was watching Canadian Prepper, and he basically said that when Trump got when Trump got back in the presidency seat, he saw this thing on autopilot. All right, and he can't stop it. Okay, and that's facts. Okay, you people put your faith in these politicians. All right, trust that they have your best interests at heart. Okay, but behind closed doors, they building bunkers. Right? I wonder why. Let's grab a couple more. Let's get this. Isaiah 34. It says, "Come." 34:1. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations." Okay, and indignation goes into righteous judgment. Okay, so the righteous judgment of the Lord is upon all nations, man. All right, it's upon all nations. Okay, this time that we see, and okay, is for everybody. Okay, what's that? Isaiah 30. I believe it's Isaiah 36, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but basically saying that this world, it goes into. I probably have to get it now. Oh, matter of fact, let me see if I can find it real quick. Punish the world for their evil. Okay. I don't want to lose that. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Yeah, Salakis. Isaiah 13:11. It says, "And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity." All right. "And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible." Okay, so basically, the Lord's about to punish everybody, right? And he's about to pull the white man out of power. All right. All right, because he's the most proud. All right, he's the one who has the minds of the people in this drunk stage. All right, in this democracy stage. Right, in this sellout stage. Right, he literally has everybody on the schedule, right, to get money. He literally has everybody fighting for a better job in his world. All right, because this is a so-called white man's kingdom. All right, but it says back in Isaiah 34, it says verse 2, "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies." Okay, all their armies. All right, so that's a hint to let you know. All right, that the Lord is gonna make war with the world. all right, with these heathen nations, with their armies, okay? And guess what? The elite know it too. That's why they created what? The last branch of the military, all right, which is what? The Space Force, all right? Because pertaining to Revelation, they're going to try to, they're going to fight against the Archangel Michael and the Lord, okay, when he returned. But it says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all the armies. He that utterly destroyed them, he hath utterly destroyed them, he have delivered them to the slaughter. Okay? And so he's going to use these missiles, all right, to take out a lot of the people, man. A lot of people are about to die. A lot of people about to get judged, all right? But as we read in Isaiah 11, all right, these people are evil anyway, okay? All their works are evil, all right? These people praise the most godless practices, all right? Behind closed doors, the vibration of the earth right now is everybody love evil. Everybody love the wrong shit, you know? Everybody's selfish. All right, but back in Isaiah 34, it says, verse 3, their slain also should be cast out, and their stink should come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains should be melted with their blood. Right, man, because these other countries, right, a lot of these other countries, only two places that's going to be utterly wiped out is Israel and America. All right, but Israel is going to be rebuilt. All right, when we go back home. All right. Now these other countries like China and all these other places, they're going to get hit too because America got missiles too. All right, but they're not going to be utterly destroyed. All the people are not going to be taken out over there. All right, because we got to have slaves, and people are going to have to clean up. That's going to be the first job for you goddamn elites, man, for you Rothschilds, DuPonts, Oppenheimer, all you people, right? When you go down your bunkers, the next time you see the world is going to be totally different, and it's going to be under the rule of Yahweh Shah, all right, who y'all ignorantly call Jesus, okay? But it says, and all the hosts of heaven should be dissolved, right? All these leaders, all these elites, right? And the heavens should be rolled together as a scroll, all right? And that's the first heaven. That's the atmosphere. That's the sky above that we see. The second heaven is above the firmament, right? Which is known as space, okay? And the third heaven is where the Lord dwells, all right? So the first heaven, all right, that's the atmosphere, okay? You're going to see big-ass mushroom clouds. And that's what you see when you see a huge explosion or when the missile hit and blow up, okay? And it says, and the heavens should roll together as a scroll, and all their hosts should fall down, as a leaf falleth off the off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. Okay. For my sword should be bathed in heaven. Behold, it should come down upon Idumea, upon the people of my curse to judgment. Okay? Because those missiles, man, all right, those missiles is going to leave the atmosphere, right? And they're going to come back inside the atmosphere with the Lord specifically controlling them, all right? And they're going to hit every location where the Lord wants it to go, okay? That's basically what it's going into. And mainly, right, it's going to fall upon the people of the Lord's curse, right? And Idumea is the Greek way of saying Esau, Edom. All right, you so-called white people, man. Okay, so this is your particular judgment, but the Lord is also is going to use your judgment. While he judging you, he's going to judge everybody, even the wicked of his own people, which we call the 2/3. All right. I got one more. I want to be the dead horse. All right. The point is made. Okay. Those missiles that you see Russia is testing and showing you. Okay. It's basically it's going to be the end of this world. Right. That's what's going to usher in the end of this world, the end of Esau, right, and the beginning of Jacob, pertaining to Romans. All right. Let me get straight to the point. This is let's get Revelation 21:7. It says, He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his power, and he shall be my son. All right, and that's the elect. Verse 8, it says, but the fearful and the unbelieving, right, which is the 2/3, and the abominable and the murderers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and the idolaters and all liars, right, and that's mainly the wicked of our people, but mainly you other nations as well, and especially the wicked, all right, which is Esau, Edom, man, the so-called white man. This is how he's run his society, all right. Idolaters, sorcerers, all right. This is a bunch of wicked motherfuckers, all right. It says, and all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire, which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Okay, and that's going to be the lake of fire. Okay, when all those missiles hit over here in America. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodesh, Shalom.